What's good, y'all? Blacksmith here, and today I am doing an official review of Dune Part 2. Now, I know I initially said that I wasn't going to do it, but I changed my mind. A lot of y'all said this was a good movie, and if I was going to watch it, I got to see Part 1. So I took a chance, listened to y'all, and did just that. So no more wasting time, let's get into it. Now, when it comes to a movie with this type of story, it's kind of hard to talk about it without giving away too many details, so I'm going to try my best to not spoil anything. And fair warning, I might mess up pronouncing some of the names. The story continues with Paul Atreides and the Fremen as they journey across the planet of Arrakis to seek revenge on the House of Harkonnen for the events that happened in the first movie. And continuing the fight for the spice. For those of you who don't know what the spice is, it's a substance that the planet of Arrakis produces that everyone in the galaxy pretty much uses for intergalactic space travel. And when consumed by humans, the spice can either give them advanced mental abilities or can cause death. So, Part 2 starts off right where Part 1 left off. They wasted absolutely no time getting into the story. Within the first few minutes, I could already tell that Part 2 was going to be a whole lot different from Part 1 in the best ways possible. And I am so happy to say that I was not wrong on that. I'm going to be completely honest. Story-wise, I was not a fan of Part 1. But watching Part 2 actually made me appreciate Part 1 even more. Part 2 also made me understand that story-wise, this is more of an epic, like the Odyssey or Beowulf or the Iliad. Watching this movie made me feel like I was watching a great opera. There was also something very Shakespearean about Part 2 and the experience that I got from it that really made me appreciate Part 1, and moving forward into Part 2, I was very immersed in the story. So I will say, as a series right now, I'm actually very impressed when it comes to the storytelling. Now let's talk about the action. Comparatively, Part 1 was more about the storytelling than the action, but Part 2 kept that same level of storytelling and intensified the action and made a great balance of both. The way everything was shot, the way the fight scenes were choreographed, it was pretty great. The great thing about the fight scenes is that all the characters fight close combat, hand to hand. You get to see every single detail, and it's pretty fantastic. And the sandworm riding scenes, whoo, those were pretty intense. Yeah, overall, I'm really glad I saw this movie. Shout out to y'all for talking some sense into me to go see it. To everyone who was like me a few days ago and didn't really know the story and wanted to see Part 2, if you go see Part 2, I would suggest right afterwards going to see Part 1. I wouldn't suggest skipping it. Some of y'all might not like me for saying this, but I guess you could also take the Star Wars route and just watch it out of order. Because you know, the first Star Wars movie to come out was Episode 4, then they went to 5 and then 6, and then they went back in the 90s to Episode 1 as far as storyline goes, so I guess you could do that too. But I am telling you, Part 2 made me appreciate Part 1 as a story, and I think you will appreciate it too. Thanks for checking out this review. Let me know if you plan on seeing this movie. Let me know if you've seen it and what you thought about it. Let me know some of the differences between the book version and the movie version. I'm actually curious. Also, let me know what you think about this review and give me a like and a follow too. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, peace.